Hey everyone, Omogonix here and welcome back to a brand new video. So in today's video guys, I'm going to be talking about Fallout 76. Now in this video I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with the game, why I like it, etc. You know, in this video I don't want to address any of the hate against the game, I don't want to jump on any hate bandwagon, you know, and I don't want to address any of the controversies. You know, I want to stay away from that sort of stuff and I just want to talk about my personal experience with Fallout 76, you know, why I like it, etc. I don't really want to get into the controversies and stuff like that, you know, I just want to talk about why I like the game, you know, and yeah. So anyways guys, let's get right into this, what I guess you could call a review on Fallout 76. So Fallout 76, you know, I've always wanted an online Fallout game, you know, because I've always seen Fallout as one of those games where it could have an online mode, you know, and I feel like Fallout 76, you know, it's not really what I expected of an online Fallout game, but it's still pretty good nonetheless. Now you see, when it comes to online interaction in Fallout 76, it can be described as very socially anxious. You see, a lot of the people you will encounter in Fallout 76, you know, it's kind of like they're trying to avoid you just in case they think you're some sort of cancerous player that's going to kill them either way, you know, but I can completely understand why they are like that, you know. I'm personally like that as well, you know. I might see another player and I'll try to avoid them at all costs, you know, just to let them know that I don't want to fight them at all, you know, just so then, you know, they don't want to fight me, you know, because in Fallout 76, you know, when you're walking past players and you might stare at them for a couple of seconds, you know, they might get the wrong idea and they might want to fight you, you know. It's a very rare chance of it happening, you know. It's happened to me quite a few times before, but, you know, either way, you know, it's just better to avoid other players in general. You see, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have some nice interactions in Fallout 76, you know. You might be walking around and then you might get some guy coming up to you, you know, being friendly, you know, they might do a thumbs up emote, you know, pretty cool, right? You know, it might happen to me sometimes as well, you know, and it can be pretty cool to have some nice people in Fallout 76, you know. You might even get them wanting to trade with you, you know, and it can be cool to have those sorts of, you know, friendly interactions, you know. So it's like, oh, hi there, you know, I'm a friendly player, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you or anything, you know. And I myself have actually had some pretty good, you know, funny interactions in Fallout 76. You know, many good times I've had with other players. You know, I remember the first time when I played the game, you know, there was this one player that kept on, you know, like undressing into nothing and kept on just like teabagging and stuff, you know, and was like trying to kill me and a few other people. And, you know, we just kept on killing him. You know, it was a pretty fun experience. I really did like that time. It's one of the best experiences that I've had in terms of online interaction in Fallout 76. And it was pretty fun nonetheless. So the next thing I want to talk about is combat. So combat in Fallout 76 is pretty good. You know, it's kind of like Fallout 4's, but I don't know, something feels different about it. I guess it's because it's very real-time reliant, because you see, Fallout 76 is an online game, as you would all know, and as an online game, you know, everything is very real-time reliant. Everything is real-time reliant. And even the VAT system is real-time reliant, of course. And to be honest, you know, with the VAT system, I kind of felt quite, let's just say, mixed feelings with that when I first started playing. Because I was pretty bad at Fallout 76 when I started playing, you know. It's like any new game, like, even if you've been playing the series for a while now, you know, like, when a new game comes out, you're going to kind of struggle with it, you know, and that's how I was with Fallout 76, because I was pretty good at Fallout 4, but then with Fallout 76, you know, since it's an online game and everything's very real-time reliant, it will take you some time to get used to some things, you know. And I remember when I first started playing, all I really had was like a weak melee weapon. I forget what it was, but yeah, it was like some sort of stick. It was as weak as a stick, you know, and I was just there hitting some Scorch, you know. And I remember opening up my Pip-Boy to like use a stim pack or something, and I forgot, like, oh my god, I forgot this is an online game, it's not going to pause, you know. So yeah, you know, it just really did stuffed me up there, and I kind of got angry as well, and I was kind of like, oh man, I hate this game now, you know, like the combat, it's just so dumb. But then once you get used to it, you'll actually end up liking it, you know. Like the VAT system, for example, that's something I want to talk about. I had some pretty mixed feelings towards the VAT system in Fallout 76, but until I got the hang of it, you know, I was actually quite cool with it, you know. Like in Fallout 4 and other previous Fallout games, right, when you're using the VAT system, it either goes into slow motion or it just completely, you know, does a freeze frame. I forget what it is, but it's one of the other, right? But in Fallout 76, it's completely real-time based, so it's basically like an aimbot, you know, like VAT system in Fallout 76, it kind of acts as an aimbot, and I can kind of see why that would be good for some players, you know, like me personally, I have pretty bad aim in Fallout 76, you know, just some games I have some pretty bad aim in, you know, for example, CSGO, I have terrible aim in CSGO, you know. Fallout 76, my aim is okay, but it depends on what enemies I'm facing. Like, if I'm facing any enemies like wild mongrels, for example, it can be kind of hard for me to aim and stuff, you know, because they're all over the ground, you know, like running around, you know, and it can be kind of hard to aim and stuff, you know, but it does take some time to get used to after all. But, you know, if you're a player like me who can sometimes struggle with aim, you know, the VAT system is there to act as an aimbot, kind of, you know, and I really do like that about Fallout 76, you know, how the VAT system kind of acts as like aim assist, you know, it's for them players that are just not really good at aiming, you know, and I really do like that about the VAT system in Fallout 76. It's not really a system where you can get good critical hits and stuff, unlike the other Fallout games, you know. It's not one of them systems where, you know, it's like where you want to aim in a specific spot. In Fallout 76, you know, since everything is so quick, you know, you don't really get much time to choose where you want to aim on the body and stuff, you know, you just aim at a random part of the body and then you shoot at it, you know, and it kind of gives you that extra assist that you need. And I really do like that about Fallout 76 and its combat. You know, the combat's also really smooth. That's something I also wanted to mention. So yeah, you know, Fallout 76's combat is really smooth, and I really do like that about Fallout 76's combat. And so yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is the map. I love the map in Fallout 76. It is amazing. You know, just as you can all tell by this gameplay right here, the map is so beautifully designed, and it's one of the best maps in the series, I think. You know, like Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4, don't get me wrong, they have some pretty cool maps as well. You know, I really love Fallout New Vegas's and Fallout 4's maps, you know, but Fallout 76 just has an amazing map, and I really do love it, and it's really good for exploration as well. You know, Fallout games are always good for exploration, but, you know, Fallout 76's map, on the other hand, I really do like it because it really is really good for exploration, and I really do love Fallout 76's map for that reason. And not only does it look beautiful, but yeah, like I said, it's good for exploration, and it really is just an amazingly crafted, beautiful map. You know, the lighting fits well with the map as well. You know, I love the lighting in Fallout 76, it's so good. Like, something that players criticize about Fallout 76 is the graphics. You know, the graphics aren't an upgrade from Fallout 4, you know, they're just the same as Fallout 4's, you know. But yeah, no, I don't really mind the graphics in Fallout 76, you know, like, I don't really base games off of their graphics, and while it would be cool if Fallout 76 did have, you know, more upgraded graphics, you know, I'm okay with the game and its graphics, you know, like, in fact, the graphics actually suit the game, you know, like, it doesn't need better graphics in my opinion. I think the graphics are just fine, and it fits the tone, the style, the aesthetic, you know, the atmosphere of the game, you know, it just fits. I think the graphics just fit right well in with the game and the style of the map as well. And so yeah, you know, I just love that about Fallout 76, you know, the graphics, the lighting, the map, it's great. Now let's talk about the photo mode. I love the photo mode in Fallout 76. Basically what I use the photo mode for, you know, is I basically use it as a sort of storytelling kind of for my character. So, you know, it starts off with humble beginnings, and then it progresses even more with, you know, the building of my base, you know, stuff like that. You know, just showing, you know, sort of highlights of my character's life in Fallout 76, you know, and that's what I use the screenshotting thing for in Fallout 76, you know, that's what I use the photo mode for. Sorry for calling it screenshotting, but yeah, you know, that's what I use the photo mode in Fallout 76 for, you know, I use it as like a storytelling thing for my character, you know, sort of something like that, you know, to show the highlights of, you know, my journey in Fallout 76, and I really do love it for that reason. And I also do like to include my base in the shots as well, you know, as you can all tell, you know, I'm pretty proud of my base. You know, I've really developed it. And, you know, speaking of bases, now let's talk about the base building in Fallout 76. The base building in Fallout 76 is something that I absolutely love. You know, something that I loved in Fallout 4 was the settlement building. You know, I gotta be honest, the settlement building in Fallout 4 is definitely better than the settlement building in Fallout 76. I'm gonna be honest, you know, it's definitely better, you know, the Fallout 4 settlement building, because, you know, there's like good NPCs and stuff, you know, that actually live there, you know, and I gotta be honest, you know, I just love Fallout 4's settlement building, you know, and I wish Fallout 76 had good NPCs, so then you could, you know, build your own settlements wherever you want, you know, have some good NPCs, you know, to go settle down there, you know, etc. You know, and it'll be pretty fun to do, I gotta be honest. But yeah, you know, something that I loved about Fallout 4 was the settlement building, but the thing that I didn't really like about it, though, was the fact that you can feel kind of limited, if you know what I mean, because where you could build, stuff like that, it kind of felt limited, you know, because you had to build in these specific areas, you know, and, you know, you had to build in, like, the settlement safe zones, and what was annoying about them, too, was that there was a lot of, like, buildings, you know, in the way and stuff like that, so it was really, like, annoying, you know, you couldn't really build much, you didn't really have much freedom. But yeah, you know, in Fallout 76, you have a lot of freedom, because guess what, guys? You can build literally almost anywhere, you know, like, obviously you would need to have some clear land, so then you're able to actually properly build your bases and stuff, but either way, you can almost build anywhere in the map of Fallout 76, almost anywhere, you know, just make sure you've got a clear spot, and then boom, you know, personally, I like to have my base right near the lumberyard, so then I've got protectrons around me, you know, so then I can go collect wood off of them, you know, so then I've got basically an unlimited supply of wood, basically, you know, I've got an unlimited supply of wood, you know, just a humble brag there, got a bunch of wood, you know, so yeah, I'm basically rich in terms of wood now, so yeah. And I've also got a pretty good spot there as well, since there's a lot of junk around the lumberyard and stuff, so I can just go around collecting some junk I might need. You know, there's also a lot of loose gears and stuff, so I'm pretty cool in terms of, you know, having a lot of junk and stuff, you know. So yeah, you know, it depends on where you build your base as well. I recommend, you know, building your bases around near the lumberyard, where I like to build mine, because then, you know, you get some cool stuff, you know, like some protectrons around you, so then you can go collect wood of them, basically got an unlimited supply of wood, etc. You know, and yeah, you know, and I loved the base building in Fallout 76, because it feels so limitless, you know what I mean? Like, you can put down some foundations, build up some walls, you know, build some stairs, you know, you might want to make like a big 3-story behemoth of a castle, you know, that could be your base, you know, and you can build it anywhere you want, and even if you do move your camp, it will still come with you, you know, that's something I really like about the base building as well, that will never go away. So say for example you want to move your location because maybe it's a little too exposed for the scorched ghouls to come attack it, you know, stuff like that, you know, that's one thing that I don't really like about, you know, the base building, is the fact that, you know, it can get attacked, but I actually do really love that at the same time, because while your hard work and stuff is gonna probably get wasted, you know, because it's gonna get attacked, you know, it still does add some challenge to the game, you know, so that's why you gotta set up some defenses and stuff, you know, like personally I have 2 to 3 turrets around, but they're currently destroyed at the moment, sadly, so yeah, I don't really have any protection for my base at all. I mean, my power generator's been destroyed, you know, but at least my other stuff is okay, so yeah, you know, I gotta find some junk and stuff. And you know, that's something else that I want to talk about, is junk. You know, junk in Fallout 76 actually feels pretty useful, because I don't know about you guys, but junk feels pretty useless to me in the other Fallout games, you know. Like Fallout 4, I guess it has some use, you know, because of the settlement building and stuff, so you can collect some of it, transfer it to your workbench, you know, and then you can build some stuff out of it. But, you know, in Fallout 76, it just feels a lot more important because of the whole base building, you know, and the game kind of revolves kind of a bit around the base building as well, as that's one of the main things that I focus on personally, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really focus on the quests, therefore I'm a low level, you know, I'm a level 8, so yeah, because I don't really focus on doing the quests and stuff, you know, I just really focus on base building, you know, going around killing some scorched ghouls, you know, feral ghouls, etc., whatever you want to kill, you know, wild mongrels, you know, that sort of stuff, you know, I just focus on having fun, you know, not really doing the quests and stuff. And so yeah, you know, finding junk in Fallout 76 is pretty important, because like I just mentioned before, with my turrets, you know, like, I need to repair them, I need some circuits, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, it can be fun going around and finding junk that you may need, because it's like, you know what, I want to have a light bulb in my house so then it's not too dark in my house all the time, you know, so then I can actually not have to use my Pip-Boy, you know. So how about, you know, I just go around finding some stuff that I might need, you know, like, you know what, I've got all the stuff I need, now all I need is copper, you know, and it really gives you that sort of challenge to go around and searching for what exactly you need, you know. Like something that I've always struggled with is copper, you know. I have 3 light bulbs in my house at the moment which currently don't work because, like I just mentioned before, you know, my power generator got destroyed by a bunch of scorched ghouls, so yeah, you know, they destroyed my turrets as well, like I mentioned as well. But yeah, you know, something that I kind of struggled with was finding copper, so, you know, I gave myself that sort of challenge, you know, to just go around, pick up random junk, see if any of it had copper in it, you know, and it would be a big celebration whenever I did find some stuff like that, you know. And something I also love is, you know, ammo finding in Fallout 76, you know, because ammo's quite scarce in Fallout 76, you know, unlike Fallout 4, because Fallout 4, right, you know, the ammo was actually quite plentiful, there was quite a bit of ammo, you know. It's not like Metro, for example, where the ammo is literally just depleted all the time. You know, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, ammo was quite vague to find as well, you know, it's quite hard to find, and that's something I love about Fallout 76, you know. It kind of brings back that, you know, hardcore feeling. Like, killing enemies is easy, don't get me wrong, but it depends, you know, because you need ammo, and ammo can be quite scarce to find in Fallout 76, so it is pretty useful to find some ammo. And I also love the mechanic of eating and drinking in Fallout 76, because in other previous Fallout games it's actually optional too. I don't know about Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but in Fallout 4 I'm pretty sure that there is an option to eat and drink with the hardcore survival mode. So yeah, you know, that's something I love about Fallout 76, is that it's not optional. And I remember when I first started playing and I came out of the vault, right, I checked my Pip-Boy, you know, and I saw that there was an eating and drinking bar, and I'm like, oh no, don't tell me I have to eat and drink. And I was checking the options, you know, if I could disable. I'm like, oh well, I'm done with this game, you know. But, you know, I eventually got the hang of it, you know, and it kind of, you know, does make you feel that way, you know, like, oh man, this is gonna be probably hardcore, you know. But in a way it's not really hard, because it's actually quite easy to find food and drink in Fallout 76. So if you're someone that hasn't played the game yet, well, don't worry, because it's actually quite easy to find food and drink. So yeah, you know, and so yeah. And speaking of eating and drinking, something that I've noticed in Fallout 76, and I don't know about you guys, but something that I've noticed is that the workbenches and the crafting stations feel so much more important in Fallout 76 than they do in the other games. Like, for example, the cooking station, right? I never used to use that in the previous Fallout games, you know. Fallout 4, I never used a cooking station, but you see, since in Fallout 76 eating is something that you have to do, you know, eating and drinking is something you have to do, I will use the cooking station very often to usually like boil up water, cook up meat, etc. You know, the weapons workbenches I actually use from now on, you know, I use them to, you know, repair weapons, you know. I don't do it very often, I've only repaired a few weapons, you know, but I've done it nonetheless, you know, and the other workbenches, you know, they actually feel important, because you see, Fallout 76 feels like a classic Fallout game. It really does, you know, it really does feel like an actual Fallout game. It feels like a Fallout game all around, you know, just the way how everything is, you know, it's kind of hardcore, you know, like, sure, you know, like I mentioned, you know, like, killing enemies in Fallout 76 is quite easy depending on your level, you know, depending on the level of enemies you're killing, you know, it can be quite easy, you know, and they don't really do much damage either. But you see, in terms of, you know, like, your health and will to survive, that is really important in Fallout 76, you know, your will to survive, you know, wanting to survive is one of the biggest priorities in Fallout 76, you know. In the other Fallout games, you know, your will to survive and wanting to survive and needing to survive is pretty important, but in Fallout 76 it just feels more important than ever, since, you know, things can kind of feel scarce, you know, like ammo, for example, you know, I mentioned throughout this video, feels kind of scarce, you know, and, you know, food and water isn't so scarce, but it can be kind of hard to find, you know, purified water and stuff. But either way, you know, your will to survive, that sort of stuff, you know, since Fallout 76 feels like a hardcore game, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, use everything to your advantage, you know, like, that's why I'm using my cooking station to my advantage, you know, like all the other workbenches, you know, you have to use all that sort of stuff to your advantage, and it's something that, you know, I really love about Fallout 76. It has turned something that is unimportant to important, you know, something that was very unimportant to me in the previous Fallout games are now important to me, you know, and that's something I really love, because Fallout 76 really does feel like a classic Fallout game. It really does, you know, it feels like an actual Fallout game, you know, and I just love Fallout 76 for that reason, because, you know, Fallout 76 has been criticized, you know, for not feeling like a Fallout game, you know, but it really does feel like an actual Fallout game. You know, Fallout 76 is an authentic Fallout game, and it really does feel like one too, and that's something I really love about it. Last official thing that I want to talk about is the sounds. You know, I love the sounds in Fallout 76. You know, the music that plays, you know, it kind of feels very explorative, you know, adventurous, mysterious. You know, it kind of gives you a like, I wonder why I'm here feeling. You know, and I really do love some of the music that plays in Fallout 76. It really does feel with, you know, whatever you're doing, and, you know, you can really feel the feeling when you're exploring the map, you know, and it really does make it feel adventurous. You know, like Fallout 76 in conclusion is just an amazing game. I love the map, you know, I love the exploration, you know, I love how junk means more, you know, it's just more valuable in my opinion. You know, junk is just more valuable. You know, I love how ammo was kind of scarce, so it makes it kind of hard to find ammo. You know, I just love the base building, I love the combat, you know, I love the online interactivity, because while it does have a bit of flaws, you know, like for example the players that try to avoid one another, you know, like I'm one of them players that try to avoid other players, right? But you know, it does have some good online interactivity, you know, and it's not going to be all the time whenever you do have some good online interaction. So whenever you do have a friendly player come up to you, you know, just be sure to, you know, just think about it for a second, you know, like do you want to add them to your team, you know, etc. You know, like it's going to be some good moments that you can have, you know, because some online games it can be hard to find other players that are actually quite friendly. So yeah, whenever you do find those players, you know, be sure to, you know, keep those moments, you know, like for example in Sea of Thieves I've had many good online interactions that I've kept, you know, as good memories of mine. So yeah, you know, just be sure to keep them as good memories. And so yeah guys, that is the end of this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications if you haven't already, and also just want to say also like sorry if this video felt quite unstructured. You know, this is something that I say at a lot of the end of my videos, you know, because my videos can sometimes feel unstructured to me, you know, and this video is unscripted as well, you know, because usually I script these sorts of videos, but this one is heavily unscripted, you know, it's just so unscripted, you know, and so yeah guys, I'm just sorry about that. I should have scripted it, but as I'm recording this, it's 5:42 in the morning, I haven't had any sleep at all, and so yeah, I want to get to sleep. And so yeah guys, I'll see you all soon in my next video. Thank you all again for watching and enjoying, and so yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.